What's up, Nail Geeks? I am super honored to be part of the press team for the Road to PolishCon this year. PolishCon will be held in New Orleans in the spring, and this is a series leading up to the event that will be available on the PolishCon website very, very soon. I will have a second part to this video of the second portion of makers that are releasing an exclusive for the Road to PolishCon. As usual, I will have all of this broken down on my blog post, and I just want to say as a blanket statement, I apologize for any of these names that I butcher. I will have this all written out on my blog post, so once again, apologies for saying any of these names wrong. So first up, we have Alter Ego, and this is Fey Doo-Doo. Official description is a sparkly pink shimmer with a bronze lean. Inspiration for this one is a picture of a nightclub with this namesake that Cynthia found, and it's inspired after the curtains and the backdrop for that scene in that picture. Price on this one is $9.50, and the formula on this one is a bit on the medium but super opaque side. I had no issues whatsoever building it up. On the second coat, I had full opacity. In person, the base color looks kind of like a brick reddish, but you do see a bit of a pinky shine to it in bright lights. On angles and tilt, you're going to see this copper shift come out to play. I had no issues whatsoever with any texture or whatever. The polish itself does dry down just a little bit on the matte side, so I personally would recommend a good glossy top coat to really make that shimmer come out to play. And as you're seeing here on the full mani shot, the pink and the copper and that brick red base just really line up nicely together, and you can really easily see that copper shift. Next up is Crystal Knockout. This is Filet of the Bayou. Official description is a super shifty bluish green to violet with red to gold aurora and purple red orange UCC flakies. Inspiration is the legendary glowing orbs said to inhabit the bayous and swamps of New Orleans. Price on this one is $13. Now, the formula on this one does feel a bit on the jelly side to me. I did build it up at full opacity at 3 coats. I do feel like depending on application style and nail length, you might be able to get away with 2 coats if you went a little heavy. Personally, to get that nice pond effect between the Aurora shimmer and those flakies, I would recommend going for 3 thin coats. As you're seeing here, the base color is a lovely, like a dusky teal almost to me. It's right there in between a blue and a green, and that Aurora shimmer is very strong in it. In person, in normal, quote-unquote, everyday lighting, you're going to see it just glow as this purpley, almost pink lean, and then on angles, on tilt, you're going to see it kind of like a purple shade, and then you'll see that green come out to play. It's super shifty and just really intense on this one. The flakes on this one are of the slightly smaller variety, and they give this dense scatter across your nail. I had no problems whatsoever picking them up on the brush. They laid down nice and flat for me on the nail, and after top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. This is another one that I would recommend using a glossy top coat with to get those pigments to really pop, and especially those flakes. While they don't give me any texture or whatever, like just making it ultra glossy just makes them really twinkle like a little rainbow on your nails. Next up, we have Ever After. Will flash my mani 4 beads. Official description is an antique silver hollow loaded with the colors of Mardi Gras and purple, green, and gold UCC flakes. Inspiration is Mardi Gras partying. Price is $11 for this one. Now, this one does have a bit of a light to medium formula on it. However, I had no issues whatsoever getting it to build up. On this first coat here, it looks like it's kind of starting off a touch on the sheer side, but once you see this second coat coming up here in a moment, you'll see it just really builds upon itself. This one is a really nice silver. Definitely have to agree with the official description of it being an antique silver. It's silver, but just that really light touch of gold undertone to it. It is absolutely packed with these flakes in here, and you're going to see an easy twinkle between greens and golds and purples. Very flattering color, and in the sunlight you will absolutely see this hollow just loaded in this one as well. Now with this one, I do feel like this is another one, 2 to 3 coats for full opacity, just depending on how you apply and whatnot. The flakes in this absolutely behaved for me. I had no issues whatsoever. Now, just as a side note, I do give bottles a nice little shake before I apply, and I had no problems picking these up. After top coat, it just kind of seals everything in. And once again, another one, I might be a little biased for glossy, but I think a glossy top coat on this one is gonna really flatter those flakes and just all those sparkles in this one. After top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. Everything was nice and smooth to the touch, and there is just really nice glow on this, like a warm inner glow on it. I think you can kind of see it on my blog post on my full mani shots. It's just like almost like a shimmery type of glow. Next, we have Fair Maiden. This is a French Quarter Phantom. Official description is a toppy lavender linear hollow, finished with iridescent green flakes and purple UCC flakes. Inspiration is inspired by the haunted stories buried in the rich history of the French Quarter. Price on this one is going to be $11. Now, this is kind of similar in the ultra packed hollow type category. It's a little bit of a minx, and on the first coat, it looks like it's going to apply super sheer, but I had no issues building this one up either. This is another one, once again, that I think most people might be just fine at 2 normal coats. Now, I did build this one up at 3 thin coats, and I think it really gave a nice depth with all the flakes loaded in here. Once you build it up, the base is definitely like a neutral type, lavendered, undertoned type polish, and it's absolutely loaded with hollow. This one is another one that's going to absolutely light up in the sun. I had no issue whatsoever with the flakes. They laid down nice and flat for me. They picked up great on the brush, and after top coating, I had no texture whatsoever. Everything was smooth to the touch. The flakes in this one do give a lovely like rainbow effect between purples and greens. Just really captured the Mardi Gras type appearance that we all think of. Now, I think this is another one that, due to the hollow in it, it does give a really nice glow to it. It has like almost like a lavender type glow in the center of your nail. Next, we have Great Lakes Lacquer. This is Bayou Princess. Official description is a soft sea green multichrome holographic with shifts to watery blue, periwinkle, and orchid. Inspiration is Princess Tiana, and the price on this one is $13. Formula on this one feels medium. It built up super easy for me. The base color to me is almost like a seafoam type green. It's very soft and very chic, and there is a multichrome effect to it that is super interesting to me. So in bright lights, as you're seeing here, you're gonna see a really strong, like a lime green type glow. I did try to capture it on my macro shots on my blog post. On tilt, you're gonna see this purple come out to play. It's very pretty, and it's on angles when you tilt your nails, and on extreme angles you see a lovely gold come out, and it just warms up the overall color on your nail. And it does dry down just a little bit on the like satin side. So this is another one, once again, I'm gonna keep repeating myself. I would go in with a glossy top coat. It seals everything in, and it just really brings out that multi-chrome pigment in there. Very glowy and very strong in that regard. Next up, we have Illyrian Rising Sun Blues. Official description is a navy blue base with blue to red multi-chrome shift and iridescent flakes in red, copper, green, blue, and violet, and green to purple and green to gold flakes. Now, the price on this one is $13. So this one is very interesting to me. I really tried to capture this shift on my macros and my blog post, but you'll just have to take my word for it. In person, it has a very strong coppery shift to it. Now in normal lightings and whatnot, you're going to see it how you're seeing here. It's a very rich navy blue that has a real glowy type effect to it. And in extreme angles, you'll see that copper come out to play. This one is absolutely loaded with all these different color flakes, and I think they really pop against the blue base. I had no issues whatsoever with these either. They applied very easily for me on the nail. And this one, I feel like full opacity will be reached at 3 thin coats. I really think going in for just 3 thin will really help build everything up and give you that pond effect with the flakes. This one's got a lot of things going on between the base color being shifty and then just like the pop of color from all those flakes. Next up, we have Kathleen and Co. Light My Flambeau. Official description is a bright red base with orange to red magnetic pigment. Inspiration is the torches carried during some of the parades at night, and the price is $12. Formula on this one has a really smooth, buttery-like feel during application, and it built up very quickly for me. I will say that the base color to this one is a really just rich, vibrant, warmed red, and the magnetic pigment in it is a very strong goldish type orangey type red. It's really interesting. Now I feel like it's being a little shy on my video here. I did try to capture it on my blog post photos. This isn't one of the most contrasting magnetics per se, but it's definitely there in person. You can see it kind of adds like a warm glow overall to the finished look. It does have quite a bit of movement in the end effect, and after top coating, no texture, everything is super, super smooth on this. There is a lovely linear hollow effect on it. I feel like it has a bit of like a sparkly, a dense sparkle to it overall. Now, this one is just really, really glowy, and I think in person, if you're playing around with it, honestly, I feel like if you don't use the magnet, I think it's still very, very pretty. If you don't use the magnet, that gold kind of orangey magnetic pigment will just really warm up the overall look, because the base color is a bit of a, almost like a somewhat cool toned red. So honestly, I think this one's going to be just fine either way if you wanted to use a magnet or not. Next up, we have KBShimmer. This is Beignet Done That. Official description is a green to purple multichrome with gold flakes and micro hollow flakes. Inspiration is inspired by the classic green, purple, and gold colors of Mardi Gras. Price on this one is going to be $10. The formula on this felt very medium to me, and it applied super, super rich and just built up very, very quickly on the nail. On the second coat, I didn't see any reason to keep going, and I had almost full opacity, I dare say, on that first coat. If I went in kind of thick, I think I could have even gotten away with one coat. I had no issues whatsoever with all of these gold flakes in here. They picked up very easily on the brush, and they laid down nice and flat for me. Now, I do want to note this one is very, very shifty in person. In indoor lighting, like bright lighting, you're going to see this really, really nice emerald green. And on tilt, this very effortless purple comes out on shift. The flakes behaved very nicely for me. Once again, no issues there. After top coating, I had no texture. Now, I did go in just a little bit heavy on my top coat just to play it safe, and I had no issues whatsoever. So personally, I would recommend a good glossy top coat with this one, and it really makes that shift pop. I don't think the video did this one justice for how responsive to a transition shift on the nail it is, but I did try to capture it on my blog post photos, especially my macro shots. Next, we have Native War Paints, the Brat Prints. Official description is a pale violet with turquoise shimmer, purple to aqua aurora pigment, and tons of hollow. Inspiration is Lestat of Lioncourt, and the price is $12.50. So this one has a bit of a medium to somewhat light feel during application. It applied very smooth for me, and there's a very strong, I want to say right in between a scatter and a linear hollow. Like, it's not quite a linear hollow, but it is very, very packed with the pigment in there. There is a very strong bluish type glow to this one as well. And the base is definitely just like a pale pink with a bit of a violet undertone to it. There's a lot of glow to this one, and it does dry down just a little bit on the satiny side. So another one that, once again, I recommend a good glossy top coat, and it makes the sparkles and that shimmer really pop in this one. I feel like for full opacity, depending, once again, nail length and application type, 2 to 3 coats max for this one, and you'll be good to go. After top coating, I had no texture whatsoever, and that shimmer definitely kind of shifts over to this purpley color as well. So in bright lights, you'll see it this really pretty brilliant blue glow, and then on angles, you'll see the shimmer look like a very vibrant purpley color on extreme angles. Next up, we have Rogue Lacquer. This is Spirits, Magic, and Mystery. Official description is a green-gray creamy scattered hollow with green to magenta color shifting flakes and red to green color shifting shimmer. Inspiration is Voodoo, and the price is $12 on this. Now this one definitely has a nice like a jelly-like feel during application. It does apply very smooth on the nail, and it built up very quickly for me. The base color is what I would consider like a cool toned gray, and this is absolutely loaded with a red to green color shifting shimmer. It's very, very strong in person, and you'll easily see it as this almost like a warm coppery type red, and the flakes in this are a lovely, just different various sizes. And as you're seeing here, I was super excited I caught this one on the video. That really big one landed on the tip of my nail, and I was like, you're gonna stay there and you're going to look pretty for me. So the shimmer in this definitely warms up that cool toned kind of grayish color and gives this contrast between those green flakes. It's really, really interesting. Now after top coating, I didn't have any issues with texture whatsoever. And just to be on the safe side, this was another one that I went in just a little bit thicker on the top coat just to play it safe, and I had no issues whatsoever. And the flakes behaved very easily for me as well here. They laid down nice and flat. Even the big ones just kind of formed itself to my nail. Next, we've got Sassy Sauce. This is Lucky Papa Legba. Official description is a brown jelly base with hollow, duochrome shifting flakies, and a golden copper shimmer. The inspiration is Papa Legba, which is a Haitian/New Orleans voodoo who serves the intermediary between the Loa and humanity. Price on this one is $12. Now the formula on this one is a bit on the medium to light side. I know this is another one that I felt like, okay, you know, on the first coat, I'm going to need to build it up. But after the second coat, it really starts to pop. The base on it is almost like a warmed brown, and it applies like a jelly, but like I said, it does build up very quickly on the nail, and I don't really see anybody needing to go past 2 to 3 coats. I pretty much had almost pretty much full opacity on that second coat, and I went in for that third coat just to really, really make it pop on the video. The hollow in this one is very, very strong, and in person when I took my nail away from the light box, it gives almost like this metallic-y type feel for the overall look. Now there is almost like a greeny gold type glow to this one. I tried to capture it on my macro shots again, and this one was being a little minx for me. So there is also a load of rainbow type flakies all over here. They appear in all types of colors. They laid down nice and flat for me on the nail, and as you're seeing here on the full hand shot, you can kind of see what I'm talking about with that glowy like appearance overall. It's almost like it has a gold shift to it. After top coat, I had no texture whatsoever, and everything behaved nicely for me. Next, we have Tonic Polish. This is Lacquer les Bon Tempsuler. Official description is a bright glowing purple linear holographic polish with tiny hollow micro glitter sparks. The inspiration is after the New Orleans phrase, let the good times roll, and the price on this one will be $13. Formula on this one has a medium to the heavy feel on it. It applied super smooth for me. As you're seeing here, it's very, very close flirting with a one coater. If you go in a little heavy handed on it, I could see somebody getting away with one coat. Personally, I did 2 coats here, 2 normal coats as I would consider it, and it really gives you that nice thick appearance on the nail that I'm usually going for when I'm applying. Overall, this is a very, very holographic purpley shade. In person, it has a very strong glow to it as well. There are little tiny hollow sparks all over that kind of give like a little extra scattered sparkle in the overall finished. And in person, it's kind of hiding here on the camera and between the lights, but in person, you'll see the little sparks in here. They're really, really small, and they just give like a nice depth to it. This one feels almost like a purpley kind of burgundy type shade. After top coating, I had no texture whatsoever, and it was just smooth sailing from there. Finally, we have Turtle Tootsie. This is Crazy Crawfish. Official description is a red-orange hollow with gold shimmer and flakies. Inspiration is delicious crawfish. Price is $11 on this one. Formula on this is on the medium to slightly heavy side. Now, it applied super, super smooth for me. It was like a hot knife through butter with the creaminess factor on this. The base color is almost like a corally orangey red shade. It's kind of warm but very, very flattering. And the flakes in this one, I feel like on my blog post for my macro shots, I tried capturing it because this one is absolutely loaded with those golden flakes, but it's being kind of shy. But just take my word for it. The flakes on this one, I mean, it is absolutely just very dense overall, and they behave super nice, and they laid down nice and flat for me. I had no issues whatsoever with them, and it gives this nice, like almost like a sparkly golden effect to that orangey base. It's almost like a dark coral, I guess I could say, like a brick orange, if you will. I feel like my blog photos are accurate, so the video here I think is just a touch lighter than what it is in person. This is definitely like a burnt type of red orange. I would recommend a good glossy top coat for this one as well. It's going to really make those gold flakes pop. Now, this first group of polishes will be available on PolishCon website. So consider this group A, and then there's going to be another release for group B makers coming up very soon, which I'll have a video posted for that as well. So this group A, will be available from January 18th to February 3rd on pre-order on PolishCon's website. Now, if any maker has any overpour from the Road to PolishCon series, they may bring it to PolishCon with them, but that's only if they have overpour from this sale or from this pre-order. So for the sake of breaking everything down, I'll have all of this listed out on my blog post. I know it's kind of a rush to get through on a video, so just bear with me here. I will have all the details broken down below as well as my blog post. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.